What is India gifted with? India has built very strong tech infrastructure in terms of data. Data is the starting point for AI, right? Process the data, and then you have AI on top of it to build the models. Where do we need to chart a slightly different path? We have not invested yet at scale in building our sovereign LLMs. See, India, as we know, is a complex federated model, right? So the challenge for India is very, very unique. AI will not necessarily replace the human workforce. It will definitely replace the person who doesn't want to keep pace with it. It will definitely replace that person.
India has hosted the world's who's who this week here in New Delhi for the AI Impact Summit that many have called the digital festival of the world. This week is Mr. Saibal Chakroborty, the India lead for Digital Advantage, Boston Consultancy Group. Hello and good afternoon, sir. Uh,
Thank you so much for having me.
my first question to you is AI has been all the rage, and it's nearly anything that anybody can talk about currently in the country. So, do you think that now with AI at the top of digital advantage in terms of infrastructure, are we perhaps seeing a new economic model?
See, I think it's a great question. I think the answer is in two parts, yes and no. I think every country, and I say this with a lot of confidence because we in BCG have worked with the national AI strategies of about 7 countries in the last year and a half, including India. Every country charts its own course. If you think about US, it's a country that has systematically invested in technology R&D over multiple decades now through its universities, startup ecosystem. China is a very, very different model of governance, very hard for a federated system like India to emulate that. The point being that we all have very different starting points. What is India gifted with? India has built very strong tech infrastructure in terms of data. Data is the starting point for AI, right? So we have at scale data centers in India. We have ticked a big box in terms of digital public infrastructure. Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, n number of successful DPIs we have implemented. Now for us, AI is the layer that builds on the top of DPI. So you have data centers, which is the infra to host the data, DPIs, which actually process the data, and then you have AI on top of it to build the models. So my sense is we are quite uniquely positioned. Where do we need to chart a slightly different path? We have not invested yet at scale in building our sovereign LLMs, and we are starting to do that. You would have seen the Sarvam model on Wednesday here.
Yes.
It's a beginning. There's a journey to be made.
LLMs take up a lot of energy. They take up a lot of resources. How do you think that India can position itself in a way in terms of energy consumption?
So I think it's a quite, the solution is not so much in the models you build, it's about how you are managing your data centers, because the energy consumption and the need is there. So there is a lot of research around green data centers. So there's an entire discipline of work devoted to how do you make your data centers green? How do you make them far more energy efficient? So this is a very important thing that you have highlighted. So while we are building these models, while we are consuming the GPUs, we have to also make sure that our data centers remain green. And we do not, we are very, very strongly focused on the climate agenda as well, both in the country as well as BCG. There is a way to balance this. So I think the focus therefore should be on how do I make my infrastructure more green, and then therefore that will automatically achieve that balance.
And what do you think is one bottleneck that perhaps comes to your mind from the vantage of BCG that advises global governments on what is that one hindrance that India faces when it comes and stands at the AI and the cusp of AI race?
So I think, see, India, as we know, is a complex federated model. right? So the challenge for India is very, very unique. The Ministry of Electronics and IT and the India AI mission is, housed under that. They're doing an excellent job of creating shared AI infrastructure. So one example today, 38,000 GPUs are available at about 60 rupees an hour. That's less than $1 per hour, right? That's a phenomenal thing that the center has done. But the real use of that will not happen at the center. It always will happen at the states. So our question should be, our 30 plus states, what's their maturity in terms of building their own AI platforms?
SaaSpocalypse has become the latest worry point when it comes to India's IT sector. In your opinion, how imminent of a threat to white collar jobs, to any jobs, to India's IT sector really is AI?
So look, the threat is very, very real because a lot of the work, so for example, a large part of the employees in the IT services sector do IT infrastructure work, remote infrastructure monitoring, right, for overseas clients. Some of that is a fairly parameterized type of work, which you can see an automated tool, an agent, can actually take over. Some of the IT services work that is related to coding or application development, yes, that will also get impacted. However, I do a lot of large scale digital transformation programs. My sense is the more complex the platform gets, and in India, you think of some of the most complicated platforms like, GSTN or government e-marketplace, myriads of rules. You look globally, most of the government platforms or even, platforms in banking, insurance are very, very complex. When it comes to programming those complex platforms, my sense is AI will still need to evolve quite a bit more to create job displacement there. Our IT services sector, like we have always done, because technology has continued to evolve. Every 2-3 years, we had a Java boom back in the late 90s when I was in the US. Technology has moved on. A lot of packaged software has come in. Indian IT services has always reinvented itself to remain relevant. So what I try to say is that AI will not necessarily replace the human workforce. It will definitely replace the person who doesn't want to keep pace with it. It will definitely replace that person. But if I look at the history of Indian IT services industry, we have always upskilled and we have always remained relevant. So I think the revenue mix is going to change. How much money we get from infrastructure management versus application development versus AI engineering, that mix will change. But just like any new technology spawns off new business models as well. So some of the existing revenue streams will go down, but some revenue streams will go up.
India has, now that AI has become a geopolitical tool, it has become a tool that is perhaps been warned about by several experts when it comes to the race of being at the top, not just in terms of defenses, but in terms of overall dominance of the world. How do you think, and what do you think India can do to position itself in a way that it doesn't get behind A in the race, and B, it doesn't uh, it doesn't struggle in the longer run but thrives to make an impact?
So I think AI is a fantastic tool for geopolitical diplomacy. What do I mean by that? India is way, way ahead in the global south when it comes to digital public infrastructure. I don't know if you're aware, there is a platform called MOSIT, which is a digital public good, DPG,
Yes, yes.
built out of India. It's actually being used in African countries. So India actually is already seen, because I work extensively in South Asia and Southeast Asia. Wherever I have gone to do national AI strategy or even in Africa, the first benchmark is India. It makes us very proud as Indians, but it's also then the big opportunity for India to take that lead to become the AI benchmark for Global South. So when I spoke to a very senior official in Sri Lankan government, they said that, look, we look at two countries as benchmark. One is Singapore, because we are a coastal country, and therefore obvious similarities, and then India because of the scale of population and also the digital infrastructure that it has built up. Globally, they look at these two countries. And you talk to any country, India is now at the pole position. So I think it's a great opportunity for us in the next 5 to 10 years to take our digital public infrastructure, our Aadhaar, our UPI, our DigiYatra, take all of that global, help the global south build its digital capabilities, help them on their AI journey. And we have plenty to teach them. If you look at what the India AI mission has done in the last 18 months, we can pretty much help any country in the global south orchestrate their national AI journey. So I think it's a phenomenal opportunity for India to take the lead there, and we should do it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chakraborty.